Lynette Oxley here for SHAC Tactical TV. I'm here with Aziza for our 16 Days of Action. She's an absolutely amazing woman. I've known her for quite some time. Welcome, Aziza.
Hi, Lynette. Thank you for having me. And thanks for the compliments.
No, you've been from the start. I actually looked. You're one of the first ladies that signed one of the placards that we've got up in the office for the GOSA Girls on Fire. So you've been a GOSA Girl on Fire for quite some time. Absolutely. Where did your love for firearms start? It's been for quite a while, am I correct?
Yes, so I grew up on a small holding, but I also grew up with a dad who was in the industry from a very young age. So in fact, I'm the third generation in our line of work. My grandfather started the business roughly in 1974, and then my dad took over, and from there I took over. So it grew as a seed from early on.
So you currently run CHS Guns, am I correct?
That's correct.
You're in Somerset West. So if anybody wants to get new firearms or competency, Aziza's the lady to go to there.
We do try.
Tell me, so what firearms do you shoot? Do you do sport shooting? What can you tell me about yourself?
I started off doing quite a bit of pin shooting. I'm still active in pin shooting. It's not always an easy sport to get into. You know what it's like. If you're working on a Saturday, it's not easy to get to the range. But pin shooting has been my main love for a very, very long time. I dabbled a little in IPSC. I was terrible, far too many rules for my liking.
You haven't shot IPA yet, which is much
I'm not even getting. I didn't even attempt that. I saw the rule book and I walked away.
No, it's much worse than IPSC. So.
And then I'm part of a little club called Spectre through Gideon as well, where we do all sorts of nice and interesting stuff, but it's also a more practical approach. So
you're an instructor as well?
I did qualify as an instructor. I don't currently instruct because time doesn't allow, but I did qualify under PFTC and ITA, so I might go back into that when timing allows. I did quite a bit of work with ladies for a long time, which is sort of my main focus and what I enjoy the most. But yeah, even getting to my own guns at the moment is a challenge. But I'll get there.
Yeah. I think lockdown has hit us hard. We haven't had events in Cape Town. You did have a small event you were involved in. Not an event, but something to do with ladies. Am I correct or not? Am I not correct?
Not in recent times,
okay.
But if there's something to do with ladies, I'm always, I try and be involved wherever possible. And then in the beginning with Girls on Fire's inception, I also did quite a bit when we were still able to travel and move freely, which is now not the case.
Okay. Hopefully we'll have something in Cape Town next year, early next year. Hopefully we'll be back in soon. I think. If you want to give a message to ladies out there, what would you say to them that want to get involved in shooting, who want to be instructors? That as a gun shop owner, there's not many gun shop owners that's females at this stage in South Africa. I think even in the world.
No, there's not. It seems to be a tricky industry to even survive in sometimes as a woman. It's not always easy. You often have to deal with customers who still prefer to speak to a man. Once they realize that you know just as much as
probably
the
more.
average man, maybe even more, then they change their mind a little. But it's definitely still a bit of a stigma in our industry. It's not easy to get into, but if you are passionate about it and you know your stuff, then it's definitely not hard. You can apply yourself.
Absolutely.
The biggest issue is getting women to take their own safety seriously, let alone getting into the industry. We're doing a lot better in the last 2 or 3 years than we were doing before that. I mean, you've also seen the increase, but I still find that, you know, women are a little hesitant to enter our little world. I don't know if that's a circumstantial thing and whether they feel unwelcome still in our industry, or if we just don't meet enough ladies. But I think you guys do a lot better up country than we do in the Western Cape.
I hope things change in the Western Cape soon as well. You know, it's you talk about ladies do not take their own security that seriously, and I've actually seen it. And I've been at a ladies' event on Friday where they looked at 16 days of activism. It was actually held by a police station in the one area. I just look at it and people still see women as victims. They don't see us as somebody that can actually look after ourselves, and that's my main message with this, is that we don't need to be second-class citizens. We can and will look after ourselves. If you actually look at when an attack happens, it's not going to be, the police is not going to be there, your partner's not going to be there. It's usually the attacker chooses the time and the place, and it's not always anybody. It's the safest for them to attack you when it's safest for them. So yeah,
you know, funny enough, it doesn't just translate into our industry. I bought a car recently, a different car, and I took a car for a test drive, and I spoke to the dealer or the guy that was in the car with me, and eventually said, okay, well, you know, I reckon this might be the one. And we get out of the car and he goes, so he presumes that my husband will be doing the finance application then. And it's a bit of an awkward moment. So you still encounter something so simple, even in, you know, some everyday life. He was a little confused when I told him, firstly, I'm not married, and secondly, I pay for my own way.
Exactly.
But I think it's even worse in our industry sometimes.
Yes. We always in the same groups, and when guys say, I would like that little 38 special for my wife because that's the only thing that she can shoot, which is absolutely terrible. So your message,
it goes hand in hand with, they then buy themselves the 20,000 rand gun, and
they spend like $500 on the ladies' 38 special, which is second hand and very old. So yeah.
Yes.
In any case, thank you very much, Aziza. Any other further message that you would like to send to the women of the world to empower them?
The same message I always give, which is empower yourself and make the effort to become your own first responder, because the way things are heading at the moment, or in any circumstance, you don't want to be waiting for, I don't know, your knight in shining armor to come and save you, because he probably doesn't exist. So take responsibility, take hold of your own safety, and make sure that you can protect yourself and your family as best as possible.
Absolutely.
Main function for SAAADA is to up our membership. If you look at our overall amount of firearm dealers in the whole of South Africa, I think I'm guesstimating around 800 official dealers, and of that we probably only have about 70 as members. That's fairly shocking, considering that we are a fairly good representation of firearm dealers in South Africa. We do a lot of really good work for the industry, and I wish that more dealers would take us seriously and take the responsibility seriously to safeguard their clients, also in it to preserve our industry and make sure things keep going. And if we don't stick together, then where are we?
Absolutely. Lynette Oxy here for Tactical TV. I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm going to say we are not victims. We GOSA Girls on Fire. And we are everywhere. We are all of the women out there and represent all of the women out there. So thank you very much. Thanks, Aziza. Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.